Ladies and gentlemen, Lords of the Fallen is finally out of early access with the release of version 2.0.
And now, we're proud to present version 2.0, the definitive edition of Lords of the Fallen.
What the fuck am I?
Interesting 2.0 version, ladies and gentlemen. Which realistically is just version 1.0, as all the promises made, like seamless co-op, have only now been made a reality.
Lords of the Fallen launched with a seamless co-op mode. From today onwards, Lords of the Fallen now features full shared progression cross-play co-op.
Is what the developers would like you to think. But this shit is still doo-doo diaper, where the visitor is barred from doing things like opening shortcuts,
Watch this. A real man does it.
treasure chests.
Yeah, I'll be back in 50 hours.
No, I need you to open this, dude. No, please. Please. Doors. Would you be so kind to open this door?
Yes.
Talking to NPCs. I also can't interact with this thing.
I can.
Oh my lord. Initiating Umbral or leaving it. I don't want to be Umbral anymore. Oh, I can't interact with it. Oh, seamless co-op. Oh, fun. Oh, now I got a loading screen. Epic. Resting at a bonfire, etc, etc. Oh, I can't place a seed because I am not the host.
You know who can?
What a seamless experience! But all of that is just one aspect of 2.0, which leaves one question remaining. Is the game any good? At launch, the answer would be a definitive no. The game was the epitome of turbo slop gaming. The movement felt about as tight as a woman living in California. The sound design was terrible, if it was even present to begin with.
Not one sound effect at all. Not one.
And the combat was lackluster because every weapon archetype boiled down to the same moveset, with nothing making it stand out aside from dealing comm damage or fire damage. Not to mention things like being punished for perfectly deflecting or having to pull out the annoyingly slow lamp for a plethora of reasons. But all of that was then. Now we're in current year, and I can finally say Lords of the Fallen isn't uber slop. From the time I made my initial Lords of the Fallen video to now, there have been dozens of updates adding things like a boss gauntlet, randomizer settings for fresh playthrough experiences, and such. But all of that meant absolutely nothing to me personally, because why would I care for a boss gauntlet when the fundamental combat experience is piss poor? That's not even mentioning the terrible design of bosses, where you have boring look at me phases.
Hey, what's your favorite part about this boss?
Oh yeah, the part where I just have to look at him do shit for like 2 minutes.
It's called the hushed saint, not the very active aggro saint.
However, with the exit from early access, all of the tweaks and the changes made finally synergize. Now, a boss gauntlet is actually a good aspect of the game because your character's movements and attacks are not floaty. Dodges don't cover half a continent, and attacks don't teleport you to the enemy. It's a tighter and more refined experience. When you're not fighting the look at me bosses, that is. Those are still shit. Now, a randomizer for playthroughs is also a good aspect for the same reason. Now, co-op is a bearable experience for the same reason, plus the fact that it's now closer to being seamless than it was before, meaning the progress you make alongside the host registers in your personal save as well, though the host still holds a multitude of privileges over you that, as you might guess, create a seam. All around, the little details now accumulate into something decent, like having a dedicated jump key, which means that now, instead of having a conditional jump, like in Dark Souls, where you sprint and then jump, you can jump by pressing a single key. Functionally, however, this does not mean you have more verticality in the gameplay, because people in wheelchairs have more vertical leap potential than whatever this shit is. having a dedicated prompt to do lamp actions instead of pulling that annoyingly slow shit out,
Oh, seamless.
having a dynamic HUD to get more immersed in the game. An immersion that gets ruined the moment you rest at a bonfire because it still gives you a loading screen instead of something seamless like literally any other game with a similar system. Finally, having an inventory system that still looks god-awful.
It's now cleaner, more modern, and easier to navigate.
Having a few more impactful sound effects, where in the past there were subpar ones or none at all. I say a few because, well, yeah, they're still missing sound effects.
Attack tribe.
Lords of the Fallen version 2.0 is the definitive edition.
However, I still hold some qualms. Weapon archetypes are still the same boring copy-pasted movesets. If the only difference I get from dropping my big rock weapon for a big eyeball weapon is dealing a bit of cum damage, then you made a boring weapon system. Like in any game that respects itself, such trivial differences are handled with sockets or enchantments, not completely unique weapons. And that is a very loose use of the word unique. Hell, even ancient games from the 90s like Dark Souls 1 showcase some different nature of operation between weapons of the same archetype, be it a different heavy, light, or unique skill. The latter of which Lords of the Fallen doesn't even have. Weapons literally are just swinging sticks with no interesting factor like Ashes of War. Unless they're boss weapons, in which case you can get some unique attacks for them, but only if you have a guide open, because they're obtained in the same fashion you find Millicent all the way in Altus Plateau after seeing her in Caelid. In other words, nonsensical and idiotic design. One huge W I will give to Lords of the Fallen is the Friends Pass. You can bring any friend to play the game with you from start to finish without them spending a single dime, whilst maintaining all their progress should they decide to buy the game. I personally wouldn't condemn my brethren to play this game, but if you want to punish your homies, you can do it for free. Now I still have 2 more points, but I won't put much effort into visualizing them since I'd have to play more of the game for footage, which no. God no. So please, arouse your imagination for me. 1. You could argue that, well, Lords of the Fallen is a seamless co-op experience, because you don't have to go to your own save to grab items or whatever, as everything can be done in a co-op session. That is all except Remembrance gear. So if you killed a cool boss with your best friend and want to have matching damage sticks, enjoy the beautiful seam of loading into your own save. 2. If your friend, the host, decides to perish for whatever reason and you have no healing items, then your only way of clutching up are to revive him via a bonfire menu. So it would be really handy to build your own bonfire real quick for that purpose, right? Ah, damn right, you're not the host, you can't do that. Well, then you have to run back to the closest vestige. If it's super far away, maybe there's some shortcut you can open. Ah, damn, I forgot. You don't have the host privileges that give you the ability to open doors.
Oh, guess what? I can't open the door. Oh, you can though. Epic.
Kick planks.
Oh no, I can't interact with the shortcut.
Or retract ladders.
Yeah, man, I wish it wasn't just for show, man. I wish I could retract it or something.
Yeah, but what's this then?
Oh my, you're a developer, dude. How'd you do that, dude? Oh my god.
So you'll have to take the only route you have available. If you're even fortunate enough to have a route available, as there are a handful of vestiges that are a one-way street. Another thing I will give Lords of the Fallen is the prowess of their marketing team. They genuinely made me believe like this 2.0 update is the fine coat the game needed for it to be a good experience. So much so that I convinced Cronum to download and play it with me instead of unlocking John Black Ops in Call of Duty. Alas, aside from looking better and being less rough around the edges, Lords of the Fallen is still aggressively mid. Rating-wise, the game still remains where I put it in my original video. So if you want that and a deeper look into my likes and dislikes of it, then you know where to look. Now I shall return to working on my beloved Neo 2. You know the drill by now. Slap like, slap wife, it's getting that.